Hi there guys, well I'm going to do some rotations here. This is IGCSE level maths. I'm going to take an object and I'm going to rotate it, and I'm going to do it without tracing paper. So I'm going to show you a method which you can do where you do not need tracing paper. I will briefly talk about doing it with tracing paper as well. I'm going to do a non-tracing paper method. Now, this matches up with level 3 on Transum, so you can actually practice some of these as well. You don't need a login to do this, and you can check your answers as you go with that too. Okay, so I've just set this up beforehand. I've done this on Desmos, and I've just taken this and I've put it on a little snip and sketch sheet here. So I've made my shape and my question as well. My question is rotate clockwise by 90 degrees. So rotate the object to give an image, and rotate clockwise by 90 degrees. And most commonly, questions ask you to do this about the origin. So about the origin, that's 0, 0, the coordinate point 0, 0. Now, this can equally be done with other points, but let's just start with doing it about the origin. Okay, so from the origin, what I'm going to do is take the closest point here, and let's put some colors to this. So I'm going to do sort of an L shape here, reflected L shape, or like this. I could equally do this as well. It's sort of an R shape, but I'm going to make an L shape here, and I'm going to rotate the L shape around. So when you rotate by 90 degrees, all of your horizontals are going to become vertical, and all of your verticals are going to become horizontal. So clockwise as well means in the direction of the clock, there's a clock on the wall. Anti-clockwise is going to mean in the other direction. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to worry about that particular point at the moment. I'm going to worry about that L that I've made. Okay, so with the L, I'm going to make this horizontal vertical, take that to here, and I'm going to make the vertical horizontal. So it's going to look like that. So I've just moved my L around, I've not moved the point around, but the point will still be at the end of this whole thing. So look, the point is there, and that's kind of 2 across and 3 up. And now the new point is going to be there, and that's still the same distance away, 2 down and 3 across. That's still the same distance, just in a different position. And now I've created this 90 degrees here as well. Okay, but I've done it through the L's there. Okay, so my new point is going to be this one here. Now, if I continue those L's, it's going to kind of look a bit like a windmill pattern. So I can do that L again here, and I can do that L again here. Okay, if we're getting negative associations with this symbol, yeah, I don't mean to go there. I'm calling this a windmill pattern. It's useful to solve these questions, but that's the kind of shape that it's going to make if you complete it. You could likewise do this by just doing a particular length and then making a 90-degree angle and then drawing a particular length, but that's harder than counting the squares up and to the side. Okay, so I'm just going to take a couple of those back again. So that's the first L I need to do. And, oh, actually, let me just put those back on. And so here we go. So those endpoints there, by the way, this is 90 degrees clockwise. This one would be, and this would be 90 degrees anti-clockwise. Okay, and this one here would be 180 degrees either way. 180 this way or 180 this way. Okay, so that's the usefulness of those other branches. But we're just doing 90 degrees clockwise at the moment. Okay, so I'm going to do another one now, and this time around I'm going to do 2 across and 5 up. I'm going to take this point up here. Now, 2 across and 5 up is going to become 2 down, 5 across. So my new coordinate point is going to be here. Okay, and I'm going to do it with another point at some stage. Change color. Okay, this one, let's do 3 across and 3 up. It's going to be 3 down and 3 across. Okay, and we've got the coordinate point here. Now, if it's getting a bit messy, you can change your directions a little bit. You could say, well, look, I've got lots of sort of lines going through here, and it's a bit messy. So to get to this corner, I might choose to go the other way. I could say, I'm going to go 5 up, I'm going to go 6 across. Now, when I rotate that around 90 degrees, remember my verticals become horizontal, so I'm going to go 5 across. And then the 6 across, that's that 6 across there, is now going to become 6 down. And 6 down there, it's going to take me to here, second meter. Still not very neat. Okay, it's the final diagram that needs to be neat. Okay, and there we go. We can see this shape building up here. So we're doing this with L's by rotating the L's around. Now the L's are not needed in the final answer, but you do need to be really clear in the final answer of completing this thing. And once you've got some of it in, you can normally see how to finish it off. So I'm going to finish this one off here like this. Okay, so there's my rotation. We've got, let's color it in. You don't need to color it in for exam. There you go, let's color that one in there. So there's that, and there's this one here. Okay, so there's our 90 degrees clockwise. Now, if you're going to do this anti-clockwise, like I showed you in the picture before, you can just sort of windmill round the other way. And you can do that for every single point. And if you want to do it 180 degrees, you can find the second branch on that windmill. Okay, I'll do that again just to show you on the windmill, the sort of windmilling bit. But let's take all of this back for a second. I want to go through briefly about the tracing paper as well, because we don't have a nice method online to do this. And I know a lot of questions now are online essentially. Obviously in the exam though, you're going to get tracing paper. Now, if you've got tracing paper, you can put that tracing paper over your shape. You can draw out your shape again on your tracing paper, draw it on your tracing paper, and then you can put a cross there on the corner as well, and you can hold that cross down on your corner, and then you can rotate your object around until your verticals become horizontal, and your horizontals become vertical, and then you will have gone 90 degrees clockwise or anti-clockwise. So it's actually really simple to do with tracing paper. It's just that when you get your final position, again, I know that I'm going to be here, and I'm going to get the shape coming round, and what did it look like? It looked like this, didn't it? Okay, so like that. So there was the final answer. So once this whole bit of paper has been moved around, the tracing paper has been moved around, you'll end up getting it kind of overlapping like this, and then you can't actually draw over the top of it because there's no, no pencil, no charcoal. On the bottom, carbon, if you like, rather. Okay, so you end up having to open it up and then figure out where those crosses were and put it back again, do it again, and do each of the next crosses one by one. So that's a bit tricky, but in fact, it's a much easier method than doing the online version of kind of windmilling around for your question. Okay, guys, well, one more bit here. So just take some of that back again. Okay, so one more bit here. I was just talking about doing this thing. Okay, talking about doing this thing 90 degrees the other way, so going anti-clockwise. About the origin again. So you can do your L's. If you're going to go anti-clockwise, your L's would go like this. So that would take us to this point here, which is 90 degrees anti-clockwise. This would be the L moved around 90 degrees clockwise. So it would take you to this point. Okay, so we're at that point there. And finally, if you put your final L in, you're going to get a shape like that. You're going to put your cross down there. So that would be 180 degrees. And that doesn't matter whether you go clockwise or anti-clockwise. You can say either. It's still going to take you to the same place. This is 90 degrees clockwise. This is 90 degrees anti-clockwise. And this is 180. And it doesn't matter if it's clockwise or anti-clockwise. Right. Almost there. Okay, because I want to say one final thing, and that this can be done with any coordinate point. So it doesn't have to be about the origin. So if we wanted to set this thing up, good, okay. If we wanted to say, well, let's do it about, I don't know, let's do it about this coordinate point here. We can still make our L, and we can still do 3 down and 1 across now. So 3 across and 1 up becomes 3 down and 1 across. And then we've got 3 back and 1 down, and we've got 3 up and 1 back. That's just the whole shape windmilling round again. So this can be done about any point. It doesn't have to be about the origin. I want to add one more thing. Keep adding more things here. So the other thing to say is that you often have to describe these things in an exam as well. Now, describing is harder, but when you describe things, you're definitely going to need to say the angle. You're going to need to say whether it's anti-clockwise or clockwise. So 90 degrees anti-clockwise or clockwise. You're going to need to say the coordinate point that it's about, and you'll also need to mention that it's a rotation. You need to describe the transformation. So you'll need to say that. Now, that's going to be worth 3 marks. 1 for saying rotation, 1 for getting the angle and the direction right, and 1 for getting the coordinate right. The coordinate is the hardest thing to get right, and sometimes that takes a bit of trial and error with tracing paper, and I'm not going to go into that now. Okay, but the coordinate is the hard thing to do, and you have to keep, you know, trying different places to see if you found the right center of rotation. Okay, I'm done with that one. Thanks for listening. Have a go at the transformations level 3 on Transum. This will mark your answers for you as well. Okay, so thanks for listening, guys, and good luck with the activity.